Hey, it's Eric G. Around the House is sponsored by Baldwin Hardware. For 75 years, Baldwin Hardware has been known for its first-class quality and craftsmanship in door and cabinetry hardware. As an alumnus of the Baldwin Hardware Design Council, I can say I have seen the details and quality from design to the finished product. If you're looking for a new style and old-world craftsmanship, I can tell you there is only one Baldwin Hardware. Check out what would look great in your home at baldwinhardware.com.
It's Around the House. When it comes to remodeling and renovating your home, there is a lot to know, but we've got you covered. This is Around the House.
Welcome to Around the House with Eric G. and Caroline B. This is the midweek special. This is what we do every single week between the shows. And maybe it's that stuff that didn't make it into last week's and it's not going to make it into this week's. Hello, Caroline. How are you?
Hello, everybody. It feels like it's been so long, and Eric has a tan.
Yeah, right?
Like you're like literally just the tannest I've ever seen you. Blurry and smoking your blunt over there.
It looks like it, doesn't it? We're having technical issues with the webcam today, so I literally had to grab the Surface Pro tablet so we could see each other today. So it's a little...
You look smoky.
Looks like a smoky.
You look like you and Snoop Dogg.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, we're having a fun time, right?
Yes, and I can see your glow. You've got this radiating skin tone, so he's got tan going on.
You know, that might have been this last week in Orlando, Florida, and Kissimmee at the Gaylord Palms. That was nice. It's cool when you can go work and have a great time at a trade show, still have an hour and a half to go hit the pool in the hot tub in the Florida sun, and then go to your evening event. So...
the question is, working hard or hardly working? You look like you were hardly working, though I know you were working hard, but he looks like he's so refreshed.
Definitely refreshed. Ooh, there you go.
Spa time.
It was, I wish I would have hit the spa. Julie got to hit the spa, but it was her birthday, so she deserved to hit that. And we were hanging out with people, like Walt Tamala from TNT Contracting.
Walt Tamala.
Yeah. So we were hanging out and having a good time, and we were the MCs of the big Southeastern Building Conference this last week. So that was fun.
Tell our listeners, what is SEBC so they know?
This is a big trade show for contractors, home builders, and even designers, but mostly contractors and home builders. And it's a Southeastern Building Conference, and so they have a get-together every year so they can see new products and stuff that's very specific for their environment down there. And people go, it's building, right? No, I'll be honest. I learned so much down in Florida because having the Florida hurricane code is so different than building code here in the rest of the country. And they have some really cool things that are going on down there. So I was very impressed at what they were doing to hold houses together with high winds. Impressive.
All right. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Okay. What was the biggest takeaway from being there that you learned that you didn't know?
For me, it's something that we haven't had here in the Northwest a lot. They're emerging into this market, but I had not worked a lot with the zip system before. And for all of you that are not familiar with that, that is a weather resistant membrane that they put on the outside of, like plywood OSB for buildings. So what's cool with that is that you can frame up the house and the framers can put the plywood or the OSB on the outside, and it has that weather resistant barrier on the outside. So all you have to do is tape it, and now it's waterproof. And so it's cool.
It's in place of, so Eric and I were talking about this. It's in place of your traditional plywood or your CDX plywood or your OSB you'd put on. It's in one. Mm-hmm. So it's the plywood. Can you make a choice between a plywood and an OSB base, or is it just strictly a plywood with the zip system?
It's zip system has it just on there. So depending on what material you spec of theirs, it has it on there. So it's that basically it's all, if you wanted to oversimplify it, it's like having the and I'm going to mix two different brands here, which is shameful to put all these brands together, but I'll use the name brand out there. It's almost like putting Tyvek and bonding it to plywood OSB.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
people know. Yeah. It's an all.
And I know all my friends at DuPont right now are shivering hearing me say that way, but I'm sorry, I'm using the Kleenex of house wraps for the discussion. So, but
they get it. We need to explain it. So it's an all-in-one that gives you, now it does, from my understanding, allow you to have what called vapor passage, right? So you can get some vapor. It's not completely sealed, which would cause mold inside or outside the building, but allows vapor, but no moisture gets in. So if you have a leak or something, if it's properly taped on your seams, you're going to have this really secure and sort of dry environment.
Yeah, taped and rolled. So you tape it. You don't just, it's a pressure applied. So you have to put, plus 30 pounds of pressure on it. So once you roll it out, now you've got that there. And what's cool with that is, let's say you got a hurricane comes in and it rips the roofing off, right? Or maybe the siding. You still have a water barrier there, where if it's a stapled on house wrapper on the outside, that easily can get blown off and torn off in the storm. Where this is applied to it, it's much easier to build something that's a little more fortified as far as how that goes.
Yeah. So if you had, let's just say you get a really bad hurricane, and it doesn't have to be a hurricane, it could be any storm, but you get the seepage in around the windows on your exterior, say your vinyl or whatever you're using as your exterior envelope. It gets in and it hits the zip system and it's like, can't go, can't get in.
Yep.
Correct.
It's done. And so that's the cool part, is it just,
I like that,
shuts it out. And, great example. So typically a nailing pattern on that system, you would do a nail, like a ring shank nail, every 8 inches. Well, in Florida, they recommend every 4 inches. So when wind can't get underneath it and blow the roof off. And then there's this other system that we had up on the stage with us called Quick Tie. And what they do is they run a cable that attaches into the foundation. It goes all the way up through the stud bay, up to the top double studded sill plate on the very top, that top point, and it bolts down and it holds tension onto that wall assembly.
Like a giant bungee cord, like a huge.
It's like a big really? Strap that is it's almost like a bolt, but it's easier. Code says they have to use like an all thread, which I don't know, trying to put a 8-foot piece of all thread through there and fish it through is not easy. Using a cable it is. And so you tighten it down and put it under tension. And now when the winds come, if you attach everything together, you've got something that can hold up to a couple 100 miles an hour, which is absolutely fascinating to me.
Is that the standard in Florida? Is that what they're doing?
Yes.
To prevent?
Yep. They have their own code down there to prevent buildings being blown away. And it's amazing what the technology is down there. And so that was cool. And then, something else that wasn't Florida building related that was cool is Dal Tile had a floating tile floor system.
That's something I would like. So you can get like vapor underneath. Like, is it allow airflow? So you can put this down in like a basement.
I wouldn't say airflow. What it does is it has a kind of a fiberglass back on the back of this tile, right? That's smooth and kind of slippery. So what you do is you can lay this down and they click together like a regular like vinyl plank flooring. So they click together. Right. You put it across the entire floor and then grout it. So you don't have any mastic. It's all just a floating tile floor.
Yeah,
no
that's
adhesives.
good. Yeah, and you don't, one, from smell standpoint, no VOCs, but 2, you don't have to get this goop off your floor and wreck everything underneath when you apply.
So if you go to swap it out down the road, it just pops up, right? You didn't do it to the floor there. So
that's badass. And I can say that because we're on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
So I haven't seen that before. That was cool. And
that's Dal?
Yeah, Dal Tile. Yep.
Oh, guys.
I was impressed. And,
me too.
And what's my first reaction to it? And I asked the rep, I'm like, all right, me being the skeptic, I'm like, what happens when I drop something on it? He goes, well, here's the cool thing. It's pretty easy to swap a tile out.
Yeah, you just pop it out and put in regrout it and you're done.
Now here's the cool thing. You know where tile gets its strength from?
Wait, I know this. I do know this.
I know you do.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
But I'm dropping you one on the. Yep. As you can tell, we don't practice this stuff beforehand. I just drop it on you, just like you do.
This is not rehearsed.
No.
We do not rehearse. I do know this though.
Yeah.
But tell me, and then I'm going to go. Oh yeah.
Tile gets its strength from the bond to the substrate beneath it. So, a piece of tile by itself, you can break it pretty easy.
Break it, and yeah.
But as soon as you bond it down to a floor, for instance, properly, it's hard to break it. Well, they've bonded it to that kind of fiberglass backing material. So that gives it its strength. He dropped from 3 foot.
Sweet.
A framing hammer on that tile. It didn't break it.
Shut the door.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
And that was before it was grouted even. So I was like, get out. So that was cool. There was, some really cool stuff like that. And then, of course.
Oh my God, I really like this. I've got clients who, they put in these floors and then they're like, I'm tired of the tile. I want to switch it just from a style standpoint. Because, once you lock into tile, you're locked in. My basement's been like, the tile's 10 years old because the expense to redo it would be astronomical.
Yeah, it's crazy.
However, with this, what's the cost? Did they
should
say?
Be about the same because you're not having to buy, right? You don't have to buy and do all that. You're not putting all the tile down with mastics. You don't have to buy all the mastic and all that stuff to put it down with. So,
and you could DIY this.
Oh yeah, I think it's great for commercial floors. You think about it, because you can go in right over the flooring surface that's there and float it right over the top. And if you're in a hotel lobby or something like that and you need to put a new tile floor down, you could do it quickly because you're just laying it and grouting it and walk away.
Nice.
So pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff.
Very
Is it going to replace,
cool.
the tiling world out there of craftsmen putting that down? No, but is it another option out there? Absolutely.
And how many different types of tile do they have? Like, do they have a wide selection?
A pretty good selection of it. And here's what I like about it. The one thing that I will say, and this is not a commercial Dal Tile. I'm not even getting anything free out of this. I'm just saying there is no commercial to this whatsoever. The one thing I thought was cool that I thought, okay, they planned this out is you have this floating floor system. So if you pick out this plank tile, right, and you want to put it in the bathroom, they make the matching tile that goes in the shower with it. So you can continue that look. Of course, you wouldn't use the floating into the shower, but now you can pick that same color with the same print and use it in the shower system that matches the floating floor.
And that's just a regular tile? That's
just
not
a regular
the one with the
tile,
fiberglass in the back, right?
So you can match those two together, which is cool.
Something new to do.
Yep. Pretty cool. Well, I've got a crazy day today. I've got, so right outside my garage door here, we've got a flag lot that goes behind us. We've got really cool neighbors that live behind us. They have had this for a couple weeks now, a little tiny water leak in their main water line going back to their place, which was not showing up in my yard at all. But now, since I got home on Friday, they have had a water that is running down the driveway into my yard now. So I'm getting free watering, which I have to thank them for. But when you turn the hose on and it's coming out like a pencil thickness?
Yeah.
That's what they have coming out of the ground right now. And
where is that coming from?
Their main water line,
main
water line going to the house right now.
Shoot.
So that is running out there. So in the next 20 minutes to a half hour, I'm expecting somebody to show up out there with a backhoe, or they're going to cut the asphalt and do that. And of course, that will be happening right when I'm going to be filming a video for Sense this morning. So that's going to be a little interesting. So,
well, at least you have a nice tan for your video. You look, so fresh.
Yeah.
It looks fresh.
Oh, and then we went out, this last week to Hot August Nights out on the lake here. And that was crazy. We had a big floating party out in the middle of the lake where they had a huge dock and a band playing and a floating dance floor.
They put all the boats for all those people that live in these, what I call lake or ocean or bay regions. You put all the boats together and it becomes like a big boat family and you jump from boat to boat. So fun.
It's cool. So what they did is they built a dock that was out floating in the middle. It was like the shape of a big H. And if you take the crossbar of the H and extend it out past what would be the end of the H, they put a dance floor on one end, and on the other end, they had a barge full of porta potties out there so people could use the restroom. which is better than everybody just jumping into the lake and using the restroom. So that's good. So you know what I mean? You know how parties go. But,
no floating poop.
Yep. So
we don't need floating poop.
None of that. So anyway, they did that. It was really smart. And then they had a band playing, and it was so awesome, drama free. We had a great time.
That sounds good.
So, and other than
by Eric's partying, I'm heading up to Inspirational Deck when we get off, and I'm going to look at the Bullfrog Spa.
There you go.
Because I've decided I want a swim spa.
Nice.
There's no question. And I'm getting a deck, and I'm getting a patio, and it's going to all be done at once. And in the meantime, contractors are getting ready to rip off the back of my house.
Nice.
And, but one of them got COVID. So today, Eric and I actually can record because I can't be there because somebody's got COVID. No, they didn't come today. So hopefully
that clears up. And I'm flying out tomorrow to go see our friend Al, who was on the show recently at Delta Brizo. So I'm going to go check out next few days. I'll be over there checking out the latest in faucets and all that stuff. And, they're flying me out to Indianapolis. So I'll get to see some other friends of mine that'll be flying in and get to go check out Delta Brizo, which will be a fun little quick trip.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So I'll find out. I'm going to take a look at that Frank Lloyd Wright collection. I want to check that out. That's going to be fun. And then I'll look for stuff for your new bathroom remodel, which is phase 3, right?
Oh my gosh, we got so many phases. I can't even tell you.
Okay, so what are you looking for?
But it's fun.
I'll look for you while I'm there, Caroline. What are you looking for in a kitchen faucet?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I really like durability. Like, I don't want anything that's falling apart fast, right? So it's got to get, we're foodies, so we're cooking and using it constantly. So like beauty kind of goes on the sidebar with me, but I definitely want something that's.
Do you want one of those touch faucets
really
where you can just touch it with your elbow and wash the chicken hands and stuff? All right.
Yes, that's good. Anything healthy, right?
Yeah.
Like, so being able to do that is key.
You want a lot of brass inside. You want to have, well, it's brass or plastic, right? Yeah. I'd say brass over plastic in my book, but a good durable finish. Which,
you're talking parts.
Yeah, I'm talking parts inside.
Yeah. Guts.
Yeah, we don't need the microplastics showing up in your food. So,
no.
You know what I mean? That's okay. Well, I'll take a look. I'll see what I can find out there. That's going to give you that balance between function and beauty.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, but definitely function.
Yeah.
I'm all about that in the kitchen. It's got to work good. It's got a good sprayer. It's got to have good velocity. I like a strong. I don't want this like trickling out. I want to be able to power wash my dishes.
Mm-hmm.
They should come up with like a power washer, like something that's like an extra oomph. So when you want to get that like gritted cheese and like macaroni,
they do. It's called a dishwasher.
Yeah, but I mean, I want something to sandblast right at the sink.
You need one of those old school Dishmasters. Remember those that had the little?
Remember those? That's what I'm saying. They should bring it back.
We need to bring back the Dishmaster. I think that's how
I get, for some reason in my household, I get the gunkiest plates you could ever imagine. I don't know if it's just because we're into barbecue and cheese and all that kind of sticks to the plate.
We've got a really good dishwasher and it just comes off. I mean, we can have, and I've got some stuff that, maybe it's got, juice from the steak or it's got cheese baked on from the, from anything else. And man, that dishwasher just goes after it. I literally can put something in there going, am I going to have to throw that away? I got that thing so abused, and it comes out looking brand new.
I have a lot of stuff, though, that can't go in the dishwasher or isn't supposed to. Let's put quotes up, right? There's just some of those like knives, the utensils, the things that you don't want going in there. And I've got some really nice like baking dishes that I'm careful with and stuff. So I just need a little power washer.
There you go.
Work on that for me when you're out there. You can invent it. Tell them.
Spare time, right? But yeah, that anyway, to wrap up that show, that was a lot of fun. There was a lot of great people there, met a lot of cool people. We got to, as you saw in the video with Walt, that's up on our Facebook page, Around the House show, we got to play with the Ford Lightning a little bit, the electric truck.
So jealous. He was like hiding in the back. He was in the trunk.
In the front. That was the front. I mean, he was up.
Oh, that was the front. Where was?
Yeah, that was under the hood.
Yeah. What am I? Oh, yeah, that's right. What am I saying? It's a truck.
Where's Walt? Walt, where are you? And he was sleeping over there.
Before we leave, my friends had to get a new car. They crashed, right? So actually, they didn't crash. Someone crashed into them. And they They informed me that they bought a hybrid Toyota.
Okay.
RAV4.
Cool.
What do you think the price was? I'm going to play guessing game.
Oh,
with you.
hybrid.
What do you think?
We haven't talked about this. You could spend on a hybrid pretty quickly $60,000 without even thinking. And you can spend $80,000 when you start throwing options at it. What do you think they paid?
See, he's like, I was blown out of the water. They paid $62,000 for a Toyota RAV4 hybrid.
I can spend
To me,
$70,000 on a Hyundai hybrid that's loaded. And that's a Hyundai. That's not a Mercedes-Benz, right?
nope.
I mean, that adds up pretty quickly. And that's one of those things that I go, that's serious money, And the bad part is they're not giving these cars away right now.
Well, listen, this is what happened. They ended up paying. Oh, I got you. That one. This is
That one.
thicker. It needed a little oomph to it. They paid MSRP, and they said if you want to walk off the lot with it, it's a 10% uptick right off the bat.
Tom Cruise, but
Oh, Tom Cruise. Hey, Maverick beat Titanic at the box office. Did you hear? I think it topped number 7 most grossing movie, and it passed Titanic.
Pretty amazing. And,
You'll be
I
happy
still
about that.
think that Jack could have been probably saved. I think they could have got him on that door at the end of the movie.
Oh,
Titanic.
well, yeah.
I think they
You
just
thought he
didn't
was
try
too-
hard enough. I think she could have pulled him up on the door and he'd have been fine. And that would have, he'd have made it. He needlessly died in that movie.
Oh. Were you the one that told me about Maverick, that the whole theory is that he actually died and this was like a dream or something, or that he's
I've heard
dreaming this?
I've heard that. Yeah. That's an interesting theory. I don't buy
For
it.
you, someone told me that.
I don't buy it though.
Oh.
I mean, I look at it and go,
He somehow is like in concussion state and coma, and he's just dreaming the whole movie. It's not.
that's kind of funny,
Realistic.
actually. It's like, really? Obviously, somebody
You
had
never
too
know.
much time in their hands to come up with that one. So, if you're dreaming, wouldn't you have like Val Kilmer be your same age? And I mean, you wouldn't be old in it. You'd be like, right? It would be like you're back in the 80s,
Val Kilmer is like still a stud.
I mean, come on.
No, you're right. Actually, that's a good argument. You would be like perfect in your mind.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you're gonna out there be a badass, you're gonna be a badass. You're not gonna be like, oh, well, I'm kind of a badass, and my really good buddy over there, he's not a badass. He's this old dude that dies in the movie. Yeah, it's probably not dream category there, right? That's
Yeah, no, he's like terminally ill.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a good dream to me.
I mean, and then you would have stuff like, usually in these movies there's stuff that jumps the shark, and it was pretty realistic. The only thing I would say that jumped the shark to me is when he like bailed out of the plane at Mach 10 or something, which
Well, that's where it all started.
I know it.
That's the dream
yeah,
state.
that's
He really blew
that's
up.
yeah.
He just-
You're
this is all in heaven.
yeah, you're not going, dust that off a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna be good.
And walking into a diner looking for like a glass
Yeah.
of water.
Looked like an old 1980s Pepsi commercial. If you would have taken the
It
Pepsi
did.
with it, running
So
down the
true.
side, and him just reaching back with the Pepsi, drinking it, and then putting it down, and the kid going, "Wow!" I mean, that was a Pepsi commercial right there.
And then Cindy Crawford walks in and she's like,
Yep. Good
Oh.
stuff. Good
We've
stuff.
gone off the
We
rails.
have.
We
We
apologize.
should get going before, that backhoe unloads out there and they start making noise and all that good stuff. And we got a great show ahead.
get those sinks in, everyone, and get those decks done.
Yeah.
Right? That's what
There
we're
we go.
doing.
There we go. And then I'm going to give you just a little bit of a tease here. We will have Handyman Bob on this weekend. Got to wish him a belated birthday from, I think it was yesterday, the day before, which was his birthday. Happy birthday, Handyman Bob.
Happy birthday.
One of the original
He
hosts
is around the
of
house.
Around the House.
He is.
Yes.
He is around the
You
house.
got it.
And he's still doing it too.
He's out working. He's doing his thing. All right, everybody. Well, we should get going. I hear that music playing in the background. I'm Eric G.
And I'm Caroline B.
And you've been listening to
Around the House.
somewhere unseen and undiscovered, anywhere beyond Life is a love song, let's be lovers. We're all over the radio. Take my hand, I know where to go. All over the radio with you.
Hey, it's Eric G from Around the House. Are you planning a decking or siding project this year? If you are, you've got to check out my friends at Millboard. Millboard is a completely different kind of composite decking and cladding that enhances outdoor spaces with enduring distinction. Hand-molded from the finest oak, it realistically mimics the natural grain and color of premium hardwood. If you're looking for something that doesn't look like plastic and instead real wood, check out millboard.com. Make sure and check out that interview we did just a few weeks back. That's millboard.com.